Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the stream. I know you guys are not doing well, so I'm not going to say I hope you guys are doing well because I know you're not, especially the Chelsea fans of you watching the stream. Regardless, I hope you are having a good weekend. Hopefully, it will get better as the time goes on. We lost against Manchester City. Pep Guardiola was able to finally defeat Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea Blues, and he did it at Stamford Bridge. So it was a interesting result. Julius says he'll be in 5 minutes. We will be waiting for you, Julius. We will be waiting for you. I know you're one of the ones who predicted a negative outcome, so it'll be interesting to see and to hear your thoughts on the game. The game was interesting is the best way to describe it because there were elements that we were afraid to see and we were expecting to see, and we did end up seeing because of the results we've had recently, especially in that first half. We saw a repeat of that. The formation that a lot of us predicted to see came about. We did see three holding midfielders. We did see Timo Werner and Lukaku up front. Christensen, James, and Azpilicueta. If you guys watched the preview, we were debating who would be playing in what position. By the end of the match, everybody played in those positions. It was an interesting performance. I think maybe it was bound to happen. Those of us who were expecting Chelsea to have an easy match found out today that Man City are not going to be pushovers. Those of you who expected to see Man City to have an easy match find out today that Chelsea were not going to be pushovers. We're not going to be easy. We're going to from all perspectives. QNTV, Kasim, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. People, I have decided to change the format of my streams moving forward because I want to give as many of you an opportunity to give me your thoughts on the topics we are talking about. So today we are talking about the match, and I want to give every one of you a chance to come on and discuss their thoughts and opinions on the match. So I have allocated two 15 to 20 minute slots, one at the start of every stream and one towards the end of every stream. And during those 15 to 20 minutes, I will be giving an opportunity to people in the chat to jump on and to have a minute or two to give us their thoughts and opinions. So I will be posting the link in the chat during those periods. The regular panelists will be on discussing and talking, but I will give an opportunity for the people in the chat to also interact. Vinsal is in the chat. So when you guys see this banner on the screen, it means lines are open, and lines will be opening as soon as I put the link in the chat, which will be in a couple of seconds. Just give me a second. Paste, send, and pin. So while this banner is on the screen, you are able to jump on and give me your thoughts and opinions, lads. Bobby, Eric Blue, welcome to the stream. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good, Mo. But good. What's up, Eric?
Yeah, I'm not doing so good. Yeah.
Kasim, Alex, welcome to the stream.
You alright? All good?
I am alright.
Baggy, Mark, I can't stay on for too long, but all I'm just gonna say is, look, we today, I think, look, out of 4 games to playing Pep Guardiola, and we lose 1 out of the 3, and we win the rest of the 3, I'll take it. Look, these are still the champions of the Premier League from last year. We've lost to a great team. We weren't at our best today. I think probably it's the reverse of the Champions League. I think today Pep just did what he had to do, like what he always does. And I think maybe Thomas Tuchel just overthought his decisions. I think we all know, I think that the formation wasn't the best. And we just weren't on it. I think Man City wanted more today. I saw it. I saw it from the players. I saw it from the players wanting the ball more. I think, but it only took them. The one thing I don't understand: why did it take Chelsea to the 60th minute to realize that they actually had to start playing? You know what I mean? Like then you really saw Chelsea's desire and passion to actually start playing. And before the whole game, yes, okay, we are resolute. We defend well. We conceded an unlucky goal, as such say. I was confident. I was like, okay, look, this is Chelsea. We defend, and then we hit them. But the problem is today, I think our midfield just weren't on it. Jorginho, Kovačić, and Kante, poor performance from all three of them. They weren't on it, and we had major problems of having that balance in the whole game. We usually have that good balance between midfield, attack, and defense, and today we just didn't have any. We just didn't have anything. We were good in defense, but if you don't have the ball for 50, 60 minutes of the game, you're bound to always somehow to concede a goal, especially against a team like Man City who hold the ball so well and play football brilliantly. So, look, I'm disappointed.
I want to cut you off. You're only here for a few minutes. I want to take advantage of your presence.
Yeah.
You mentioned some very, very good points. There's a lot of good points in there. I want you to explain to me, why did we allow Man City to dominate? Because you said the three midfielders had a poor game. Is it because of the shape that they're in, or is it because of the lack of form? What is it that made these guys have such a bad performance?
Both. I think today they didn't look forwards. I think we just didn't play to our strengths. I don't know what they were told or anything. Look, Kante, I think this is the first game I've ever seen in my life where for most of the game I didn't even realize Kante was on the pitch. He looked like a ghost. He was not on the pitch. For 20, 30 minutes, I didn't even realize Kante was playing. And when you don't realize Kante's playing in the game and he's playing, that's a rarity. And I think Kovačić and Jorginho today, they were just... Look, we saw it, I think, maybe once or twice in the game where Kovačić actually got the ball and went past the man. We didn't see that enough. And until Lotus Cheek came on, we actually started seeing a player taking on a man. We were playing a bit too safe today, I think, and we didn't look forward. I think the major problem was that link-up play from the midfield to the attack.
Alex,
that's how I would put it. But thank you very much.
No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Kasim, Julius, Bobby, and Eric, I will give you guys a chance to give me your thoughts. Firstly, welcome to the stream. But these 15 minutes are for the people in the chat. So I want to give priority to the people in the chat. We have Gabriel on. Gabriel, welcome to the stream. Give me your thoughts.
Hi guys.
On the game, mate.
Yeah. Obviously disappointed, but I think I alluded to it last night in the sense of this, Tuchel Midas touch over Guardiola. Eventually it was going to end. Thankfully it was 1-0. It could have been a lot worse. Mendy played amazing. I think the Thiago, when he came on, was great. RLC is definitely fighting for his career because that was like a Yaya Toure performance at times, the way he brushed off one of the players in midfield. But I mean, I wish maybe we'd set up a little bit more attacking in the first half, and it may well have been a different game. But then perhaps each manager overthinking it, trying to contain the Man City attack, etc. So it's just one of those things. But I'm not going to get too... When Chelsea win, I don't get too gassed, as the youngsters would say nowadays. And I'm not going to get too,
emotional,
hyperbolic, if we lose. So overall, next game, and we'll just keep, we'll learn from it.
Yeah, fantastic. I agree. There were errors in that game, but like you said, we should take it into perspective. It's still early doors, and we move. Gabriel, thank you for coming on. Appreciate you. Lines will still be open for another 10-15 minutes, and they will be open again towards the end of the stream. So if you want to come back on towards the end of the stream, we'll be more than happy to have you on. We have someone else coming on. It's Mohammed. Mohammed, how you doing, my man?
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon.
Alaikum salam. Good afternoon.
Yeah. To be honest, how I look at it, I don't think it's a system or anything. I just feel like some of the players look lethargic. You know, any system, if you don't show effort, there's nothing you can do. And because City went in, they wanted it more. You know, if we're being honest, that was the difference today. It's just that they wanted it more. Because when you look, Kante look unfit, and cover second half he was taking on people. First half he wasn't. I expect what Ruben did. That's what I was expecting from Cover. He didn't. And after 15 minutes, Werner was holding his hip the first 15 minutes. I don't think after Wednesday he looked tired. He didn't even kick a penalty because he said he had cramp. So I believe it was more the players because if they don't have energy to play, there's nothing you could do. You as a coach, you can come with the tactics and anything, but if the front players and the midfielders were tired, look at simple pass Jorginho was missing. You know, those I'm not talking the ones under pressure, and even cover. How many like a dangerous ball he passed back to Thiago Silva or the defense? That was unnecessary. They give you the ball, they already beat their press. It was up to the midfielders to beat their own press. But each time the ball get to the midfielders, instead of them concentrating on beating their own press, they pass it back to the defenders. So the defender is always under pressure. So I don't think it's the manager. I don't think as well as the tactics. I think it's the players. This is on all the midfielders and the front players. Because Werner was standing next to Lukaku. Each time Lukaku click a ball, Werner don't make an attempt for it. Because he was expecting Lukaku to get the ball down and pass it to him instead of being proactive, anticipating where the ball is going to drop, reading it. That's what City were doing. They were anticipating everything, and our players didn't. So for me, I don't think it's a tactic or anything. I think this is on the players' lack of energy.
All right. Cheers, Mo. Appreciate that. Thank you for your input.
Thank you.
We will, like I said to Gabriel,
Yeah.
we will be giving an opportunity to everyone to come on at the beginning of the stream and towards the end of the stream. So thank you for your input. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll hear from you again towards the end of the stream, Mohammed. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. All right, guys, lines will still be open for another 5 more minutes. So if anybody wants to jump on, you are welcome to do so. Julius, Kasim, Eric, and Bobby, tell me how you're feeling right now. And you heard what the lads have been saying. How you feeling?
I wanted to just quickly say that it's easy to say that we lost to a great team. I don't know who said that before earlier, but after what I watched, we can't say that because our job is to try to win every game, and you look at the game and you try your best, you do whatever you can to win, and if you don't win and you know that you did what you could have done, then you say we lost to a great team, and even though we tried tried our best, did everything we could, we still lost and we move on. You can't use that when you have such a poor performance. We didn't give ourselves any chance of winning that match. I don't think we had a shot on target, which is very bad. We cannot overlook. Yes, we should overlook it a little bit. We can't be too serious with the result. It's just one game, but we cannot pretend like we saw this coming. The team has been playing poorly recently, and I know people were talking about the double pivot getting exposed, this, that, the other. But this is the issue with the 3-man midfield. This is why Tuchel goes with the double pivots, because we have 3 players who don't have the creativity, they don't have the goal threats. There's no link between those 3 players and the front. I can't remember any. What was the last match Chelsea played with those 3 men in the midfield that we won? I can't think of any. The only games I can think of are losses. We lost to Liverpool at home. We played a 4-3-3 with it was against I think it was 1920 against Liverpool at home. We lost 2-0. We did the same thing at the Etihad. We lost 2-1. It doesn't seem to work with this. Jorginho, Kante, and Kovačić. These 3 players, there isn't enough of a how do I put it? Like they don't really.
Eric, want to interrupt you for a second. When we did play those three in holding midfield, we played them in a 4-3-3. So there was also three attackers ahead of them. Today there was only two attackers ahead of them. I think today we lacked moving forward. I think if you saw the domination of Manchester City, because let's be honest, Manchester City dominated us today at home. Regardless of how important this result is, what impact it's going to have, if we're talking about the football match, today we were outplayed, we were dominated by Manchester City. And it wasn't because we weren't able, it wasn't because we were trying to keep it tight at the back. It seemed like we didn't have the answers to a lot of the questions that were being posed. Mohamed made some very, very good points, and he said that there wasn't enough drive within the players
because of the tactics.
What were the tactics?
In my opinion, this is where I disagree with Mohamed. I think tactically we were not sound today. I agree in his identifying the problem, but I think the problem was tactical, like Julius is rightly saying. I think Tuchel was too nervous coming into this game. I think he was too cautious coming into this game. I mean,
the main issue is, like, I don't know. I'm struggling to think of what exactly we were trying to do in that game. How are we trying to win? How are we trying to break down the opposition? Yes, I know they were putting us under a lot of pressure, pressing the ball really well, but the wing backs did nothing. They couldn't create the width on the left or the right. So I don't know exactly. And the players refused to play the ball over the top. Azpilicueta, Lukaku kept asking him, put the ball. He didn't do it. We don't
Eric, because we lost. Because we lost the midfield battle, everything is basically disconnected. Wing backs are not going to be able to do anything. Lukaku will not be able to do anything. That's what.
I just wonder if anybody listened to Tuchel at all after this game. You're all missing a big point here. Tuchel came out and said that, yes, he got things wrong today, which I think he has every right to say because he never gets things wrong. He's a human being. Sometimes tactics aren't going to quite work out. But Jorginho was injured today and he played him, and he said so. James was injured today and he played him to the point where James just, after a knock, he just couldn't continue, and he said so. I think Alonso was weak and he was the problem because he could never pass the ball or beat the press. And he should have been changed for Chilwell, but Chilwell's not fully fit. Kante is not fully fit. Chelsea was the team, and we missed Mount, who is injured.
Overworked.
Chelsea was the team with injury problems, not Man City. Man City lied just like Tottenham did about injured players. They really wanted this game, obviously. Whoever came out and said there's nothing like revenge in football is delusional, because there definitely is, and they wanted their revenge. Now, they came at us full throttle. That was the best City team and the best they could play, and it really wasn't that much. I just feel comforted from the fact that, wow, is this the best you got? They didn't play Chelsea at full throttle. And as I said to Mo earlier, what has happened today is that we've unearthed the gem. A lot of people were saying Ruben Loftus-Cheek could not play the six. Well, there you go. He's still building up to it. He is Jorginho and Kovačić in one, plus a potential goal scorer.
And more physical.
And more physical. He needs to be given time to develop in that role if Tuchel wants him in that role, and he's going to do it classically. I'm not worried about this. We've got to take an L sometime. And losing to City, who, to be fair, are a very, very good team and are Premier League champions, is not the end of the world. We dust down, and boy, I don't think they'll be looking forward to meeting us again. That's for sure.
Yeah, I have this, though I have some negativity that I want to let out. regarding this game. Bobby makes very, very, very good points. Very hard to argue against it. But in my opinion, when you play three at the back, to have three defensive-minded midfielders playing, holding midfielders as well, that's never a good idea. We had 0 shots. This is embarrassing at home. It's unacceptable. I know we are tired. We have a lot of injuries, but not one shot, man. Not a single pass was properly. It's either overhit or underhit. You know, it was so frustrating. The other thing is, I'm not a professional coach or I'm not a professional tactician, but for me, my perspective, and that's what I said yesterday. We should have started Chilwell. We should have played Havertz as number 10 because it's so obvious for me that if we don't play Havertz as number 10, we're not going to be able to transition the ball. I think Havertz's press game is underrated. Look at him today with his physicality. The moment he came in, he changed the game. If we were playing like that from the beginning, the game could have been different. We started creating more chances. I think Tuchel made a mistake, and he knows he made a mistake with the lineup. I think Marcos Alonso, we need to ask some questions. I'm not gonna get into he scored a goal or made a couple assists already this year. I don't give a crap about this because I'm not a big fan of him in that position in anyways, especially against big teams. And Lukaku, I'm gonna start raising some questions as well, because now Spurs, Liverpool, City, he did nothing, and I'm gonna pinpoint one major occasion against Ruben Diaz. Azpilicueta gives you a perfect cross to put it in the net, and then you lose 50-50 challenge with Ruben Diaz, and you complain to the referee. Are you kidding me, man? Just jump, man. You can't. You're letting him hold you. Why are you letting him hold you? Why are you losing that challenge? That was the perfect chance to just put it in. 1-1 game done. That's Lukaku. You did your job perfect. That's what it takes. And I'm not gonna blame the game on him. Don't get me wrong. He didn't get enough services. But when you are an elite striker, you need one chance like that to put it in the back of the net. Because if that was Didier Drogba, that game would have been 1-1 out of nowhere.
Very true.
That's my point.
Formation or lineup or tactics? What was the biggest problem? What was the biggest error?
I think it was tactics and I think it's tactics, yeah, because we could have
formation and lineup.
I mean, you can that 3-5-2. We can do it in a different way. I think we've done it under Conte, and you don't have to play the way we played with that formation. But it just didn't work out.
You have to consider the fitness of the players. I can't say whether the tactics or formation was wrong. I do accept Julius's point about Havertz. I think his pressing and what he does in the forward line is very underrated. But he's a kid, and sometimes he fluffs his lines. And maybe Tuchel thought, okay, we'll try and give Werner a chance with Lukaku. But Werner wasn't properly fit. We had a lot of slightly walking wounded in there. And tired players. Werner wasn't fit. I'm not too sure. I think Kovačić could have done with a rest because he has played every single game. So we patched it today. We patched it, and I think it was just down to the strength of our defense, and certainly the goalkeeper we had, that we kept them at bay for so long and only conceded 1 goal. But as I say, they won today. They gave it their best shot, and they know that. And they're not going to want to face Chelsea again, not in a hurry, because they know we've got more to throw at them.
Yeah, 100%. It was not that easy for them. And I think defensively we were not that bad, to be honest. But the problem, when you lose the midfield battle, you're going to invite pressure. And then at some point you're going to crack. And when you invite pressure, the most obvious thing you're going to do, especially someone like Pep, he's a clever manager, he's going to attack Jorginho. Jorginho was a victim of poor tactics today. And yeah, go ahead, Mo. Sorry.
Julius, I was just going to say, you said in midfield we were okay. I disagree. I think
Defense.
In defense, we were okay. Yeah. Defense, we were good. But
Yeah, I said we lost the midfield battle.
okay, I must have misheard you. No, you see, that's the thing, because the game was played in our half. The first half was all in the Chelsea side of the pitch. The second half, because we went down by a goal, we started to attack and started to press a little bit more. I want to raise a few points here. I want to raise. Let's start with this one. We are at the beginning of our campaign. We are still at the beginning of our campaign, and I am concerned at the number of injuries that we are starting to see so early on, because they're starting to pick up. Niggles, but these niggles, you'd expect them towards the end of the season, not at the beginning of the season. Mason Mount, Reece James, Mendy just came back. You got Pulisic who's out. You got, I'm just getting a little bit worried here. Are we going to have an issue this season? Injuries wise?
No, but there will be injuries. It's just normal. It's part of the season.
So early on?
I think you're right, Mo. I think there is an issue. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
So I'm just going to say we have to remember that we've had a lot of games with players that have. We've got players that have overplayed. That's just the reality. Mount has played too many games. Same with Georgie, and same to a lesser extent as Kovačić. And then Jorginho, Kante is a bit fragile because he's getting on in age, and he's had muscular issues which reoccur. Just like Pulisic, well, I don't count him because he's injured every so often anyway. We've got that problem. That was why we were looking for the fourth midfielder. Saul has disappointed and is going to take some time. And the only thing that should give us comfort is I think Ruben can do the job, but he's going to need a little bit more time as well. We just have to ride it out. It comes with the territory. When you have players that have been successful and they've been valuable to the team, there is that risk. We flogged Jorginho last season. His country flogged him as well. Same with Kante to a certain extent, and definitely with Kovačić, who barely recovered from injury and was playing a game for club and country. So all this takes its toll, and I think it kind of got the better of us today.
The Euros, so the season ended, we jumped into the Euros, and then we jumped straight back into the new season. Not enough time, not enough rest. Pre-season was a little bit of a rushed process. I think we are still recovering from the pandemic and its effects. We're gonna have an even bumpier ride next season. The World Cup being slapped down in the middle of the season. We've got a lot on our plate, and I'm concerned.
Is there an issue with our squad?
Well,
I don't think I didn't mention it before, but I think there's an issue with our squad. I don't think our squad is as good as people say it is.
This is the thing, Eric.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Continue.
Yeah. In a match like this, you play a different formation. You play a different, maybe not a different formation. You play a different team. You put the loan signing, Saul, and then you put someone else beside him. Saul and Kovačić, Saul and Loftus-Cheek. But obviously, he doesn't have enough trust to start with them and see how the game goes. So, yeah.
Eric, whenever we start to build up our squad and put players in reserve, our own fans start kicking off. Oh, get rid of this person, send him out on loan, sell this person. And I'm like, mate, we need the squad. We pay these players sometimes for you to take some time on the bench and come off the bench. That is A-grade football. That's what it's about. Look at Man City. Look who they brought on. they were lucky today. They didn't have any injury problems. And towards the end, they brought on Sterling and what's the Brazilian guy?
They brought Mahrez too, and
Fernandinho.
And
Fernandinho.
Mahrez as well. That's the quality they have. Now, I bet you if those players were playing for Chelsea and they came off the bench, we'll be having discussions about how so-and-so shouldn't be on the bench. He needs game time. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He needs time to perform for the club. That's why he's here.
But listen, Bobby, those same people are hyping the transfer windows, and then they complain about the squad.
Yeah.
You see, when we say we needed to buy X, Y, and Z,
Yeah, absolutely.
Be specific, Julius. Be specific. Who's X, Y, and Z?
so for example, I was one of the people who was happy when we were linked, even though it was not really a true rumor with Grealish. The reason why I wanted someone like Grealish is today's game, because we need creativity. When we have an injury like that, Mason Mount, by the way, hopefully this is a wake-up call for people to understand how important this player is with the transition specifically in counters. But let's go back to what I was saying. People at the time would say, we don't need Grealish. No, we need Grealish. City is very smart. Yes, we beat them in the Champions League final. But people forgot we struggled to finish fourth. We lost the FA Cup final. There was underlying issues. Tuchel made a miracle, and I was emphasizing all these months on it. And I expected a loss yesterday. Not because I knew that we were going to lose. You can't beat a team 4 times. I'm a superstitious person. But what I'm trying to say, Mo, is when we say we want someone like Grealish, when we say we should go for Haaland all out, we should go for I can't remember now. I'm blacked out, but those are the 2 names that pops. Yeah, whatever. Kunde, whatever. The Ligt, for example, yesterday I said we should go for him. No, we shouldn't pay this much for this player, or we don't need that player. And then we lose today like that.
Yeah, Julius. I'll give you an example. De Ligt, I'm against the purchase of De Ligt. Not because of De Ligt. Not because of De Ligt. I think De Ligt is a good player. I think De Ligt is possibly one of the best defenders, or one of the best players that that has potential in defense and development in their role as a defender. But I think De Ligt is managed by the wrong person for us to make moves on.
Yeah.
It's managed by Mino Raiola, and that for me is a problem.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can I come in?
Yes, you can. Just give me a second. And Kasim, the discussion is open. You can come in at any time.
Yeah, no, I was listening to everyone. So
I'll give you a chance.
Okay, no.
Address Julius's comment. I think the fan base are correct in criticizing certain transfers, certain rumors. But I think at the same time, the fan base need to understand where we are and take things into context. I mean, I am very disappointed that we lost to Manchester City today. But at the same time, it's not a disaster for us. And I said this yesterday. It would not be a disaster if we were to lose to Manchester City tomorrow. And when we criticize the formation, the tactics, some of the choices, it's fine. We can do that because we need to address these issues because we are looking to win this title. And the fact that we lost today does not mean that we can't win the title. The race is open. We are still in there, and right now Man City are, I think, tied with us on points. I haven't checked the table, but I think we are tied. We are tied. So we are no worse off really.
Yeah.
But we do need to address these points. We do need to talk about the errors in the formation, the errors in the tactics, because we want to progress and we want to move forward. But I don't want people to be using this defeat as a pole to hang on, their dirty, dirty washing in respect to their agendas and whatnot towards certain players, because a lot of people will be doing that. You'll be going on Twitter today. You'll be seeing a lot of hate pushed and addressed towards certain players. I want to say this. One thing we did learn from today's match is that Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a player that we can depend on, we can count on, and we should consider to start future games, because I think the performance he put in today against one of the best teams in England, one of the best teams in Europe, in a very, very intense match, I was very impressed with him. And I was very impressed with the confidence that he had on the ball. It isn't just the passes that he did, it isn't just the runs that he did, but it's the confidence that he had when the ball was under his feet, when he was dribbling, when he was moving, the way that he held the ball, the way that he protected the ball. It showed that he has confidence within his abilities and within himself. So I was really impressed to see that. I'll give you guys a chance to come in, but first I want to hear from Kasim. Kasim, let me hear your thoughts, mate.
Hi, Mo. Hi, everyone. Everyone okay?
Good. We're good, Kasim.
Listen, today, mate, 100% the manager. I think the manager was very poor today. I don't care what anyone's saying. He's been poor for the last 3-4 games, and we got away with the result. We didn't start well again, Mo. And I told you, if we don't start well against City, we're going to get punished. City today was nothing. People are going to think I'm talking nonsense now, but I'm not. City today were nothing special. City today were doing what they're doing better. Dominating the midfielder and knocking the ball around. Today he's been out tactic. But let's go back to the last 3-4 games. Especially first half. He's been going away with it. And I told you that last night, Mo. Are we the same if we got goal behind? The answer was no. But he was going away with it because we were scoring the goal first. Tuchel today, the game was on him, 100%. You're playing home, mate. I don't care what you're saying. You playing home against Man City, haven't got a striker. Even the man they scored the goal was deflection from Jesus. He never scored. It shows you, didn't miss any chances. They start coming alive when we start put 4 in the back. We change the formation. We know Man City is formation. We know Man City's tactic, the way Pep playing. But he was nervous. He's been out tactics. He didn't want to lose the game today, Tuchel. That's what happened to him. But go back to the last 3-4 games more. We've been very poor first half, and we're going away with it all. Even against Zanet, we're very poor against Zanet. We're very poor against second Aston Villa. We're very poor against first half against Tottenham, and we're going away with it.
Kasim.
Let me finish.
Kasim. No. I want you to finish. But I want you to address why. You're pointing out the problem. You're saying we've been poor, but tell me why. I want to know why you think we.
Yeah. First of all, I'm going to address it. Today, Lukaku was very poor. Lukaku today, I don't care about the surface thing, was very poor. You know you're not going to get too many chances against Man City. Drop deep. That's what Harry Kane does. Harry Kane does drop deep to help with the team. I heard the conversation with Azpilicueta for his half was having a go at him. He got to come out and help us, mate. He was out there. Werner today. Werner today wasn't the best, but he was running everywhere. Werner today. Lukaku, he just wanted to be in. He just wanted to. Sometime in this game, in that kind of games, Mo, you got to work hard for the team, mate. He didn't, Mo. He was invisible man today. I don't care what anyone say. In a kind of team like that, you're not going to see the ball. You're not going to see the surface.
Kasim, I'm not understanding you. I'm not understanding you. You're saying we were poor, and you're saying it's on Tuchel, but then you're highlighting the errors that the players were making. So why is it Tuchel?
Because we played 5 in the back. I tell you now, we played 5 in the middle, right? But had he been instructed, Kovačić, Jorginho, and Kanté to not push forward, just to stay there. That was on the manager, mate. That was on the manager, 100%. There was no intention today, from a minute 1, Mo, to win the game. There was no intention to win the game.
Kasim, that for today's match, I concur and I agree with you. For today's match, it did seem like the team was playing as a defensive formation, defensive tactic, defensive system. I understand that. I agree with that. But you're saying the past three games. I agree. First half performances were lacking. But I want to know why you think they were lacking. I know why I think they were lacking, but I want to hear from you. What was it? what was it that the manager changed? What was it that the manager was doing that he had to address? Because you see, right now, we're seeing bad performances, but we're not telling people, we're not explaining why they were bad performances. I'll give you an example. Today, the midfield battle should have been won by Chelsea because Tuchel set up with three world-class midfielders in the middle of the park. We thought that Man City were going to struggle to face that, but it was the other way around. We would struggle to face Man City's midfield because Man City dominated the game. And the reason wasn't the players. In my opinion, it wasn't the players. It wasn't Jorginho, Kante, Kovačić. That was the reason. I think it was the instruction to sit back.
I agree, Mo. I agree.
To soak in the pressure, to soak up the pressure. That was the issue because as soon as we went down by 1 goal, that flipped, that changed. And I don't think it's because Havertz came on. I think we started to see the change in the way we're playing before Havertz came on. I think Havertz exclusion, and when I say Havertz, I don't mean Havertz as a player. I mean the attacking midfielder exclusion in the team was a mistake. I think
it's a transition as well, Mo. When our midfielder get the
we couldn't transition because we didn't have that player linking the midfield with the attack. We didn't have that number 10. And that's why we couldn't transition. If we had that number 10, we could have had that transition made easier. And for me, I just don't understand why we started this way. We could have gone into this shape like we did with Tottenham in the second half, after having a dominating first half, after scoring a goal or whatnot. You wanna sit back. I understand that, but not at the beginning. We're playing at home, and this is why I say there was errors in the formation because we're playing at home. And we gave the onus to Man City to attack us. For me, that was a mistake, and that's what I was trying to get you.
No, you basically...
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But I think Tuchel is an intelligent manager to understand we're lucky number 10, and I mentioned this 100 times. We're lucky number 10, and that's now becoming hard because today the transition was bad. Even when we caught the ball, just Kante or Kovačić. Either Kovačić and Jorginho were very poor today. They just can't even put 2-3 buses together. But that's the pressure Man City put on you. And that, as a manager, world-class manager, you've got to come up with a solution, mate. Right? He got away with it for 45 minutes, but and he's just carried on the same second half. And against a team like that, Mo, you cannot get away with it. And I mentioned it last night. When you play a big team, mate, you cannot to be. You've got to be on it. You've got to be 100% focused. You've got to play choose the best personnel, which he did. I thought Kante was not 100% fit. I thought Jorginho and Kovačić were very poor. I don't know if they're very poor or Man City was just on the day or better than us. I don't know. But I thought Lukaku is going to be working harder than that because he's going to come against a big team. We're going to hardly see the ball. He's going to work hard for the team. That's my saying, guys.
No, you've answered basically why we struggled spot on. When you mentioned when you want to play Kovačić, Jorginho, and Kante in a 3-5-2 setup, it's not gonna work because it's too defensive. We're gonna invite pressure. We're not gonna be able to transition the ball, to transfer the ball to the attack. At some point, you're gonna crack against a team like City. When you're gonna be stuck in your own half because of the lack of creativity, the lack of imagination, in a way you could say, when you have the ball, you're gonna invite pressure. You're gonna get cracked. If we played 4-3-3, I can understand because you're gonna have enough tools to attack. But when the way we play 3 at the back. That's what suits our defenders. That's how we are built. And in my opinion, Havertz was one of the key factors of why we struggled today. He should have started. As simple as that. And I cannot wait to get Ben Chilwell back because I cannot stand Marcos Alonso with the ball, man. I can't.
I feel as if what Bobby said is correct. So Tuchel went with a defensive setup because maybe the players don't have the energy. Maybe they're tired. Maybe the team just wasn't able to do what we would have required to win the match. So he said, you know what, we'll just try and get a draw.
The way we lost is a big problem, Mo. We played
Yeah.
like a championship team. We didn't play like European champions. We had 0 shots for 45, 50 minutes.
We had
At
one.
home.
We had one. We had
Or
one.
one. That's embarrassing. You know? And I'm not, and again, none of the players is at fault today. Straight up. I love Tuchel and I defend them, you know that. But none of the players is at fault today. The way we were set up today was absolutely wrong.
Yep. I want to bring in Dennis, the couch critic. Welcome to the stream. Tell me your thoughts, mate.
Wow, that was a tough one, eh, boys? Tough to watch, man. Tough to watch.
Yeah.
But I did notice some things that I thought were crucial. And if you look at the Champions League final and you look at what we did tonight, or today, sorry, this morning, I can't even tell you if it's night or day anymore, man. It's just such a pummeling, man. But yeah, I just noticed that we weren't able to get our fullbacks forward, our wing backs forward. They were hemmed in the whole game. And as much as we can say that, you know, we could have did this, we could have did that, let's just take our hats off to City. They pressed us relentlessly and gave us all sorts of problems. Once we couldn't even get on the half turn, they were so tight. And I thought that was the main problem, just the fact that we couldn't actually get a foothold in the match because they pressed us so relentlessly from minute 1 to 90. I also thought that, like, the midfield three, as much as I understood why he played that midfield three, and it wasn't really, we didn't really play 6-6 or 6-6. We basically played a flat three. So basically, Jorginho's held, and then we had the two, Conte and Kovačić, as eights, essentially, box-to-box eights. But we didn't even really see that shape take place because we couldn't get out of our half. We couldn't connect 1-2 passes. I also noticed that, and I thought at the beginning of the match, before the match even started, I thought that this was kind of a game for Havertz, just because I think that there needed to be a link between our midfield and Lukaku, and we just didn't get that. You know, we played with the two strikers, and it looked like in order to get them on the ball, we needed some more width. We needed width out there. We didn't have our midfielders, you know, going wide to wide areas in order to like build attacks, because we were so threatened with the press. So ultimately what happened was we tried to go long to Lukaku. He tried to knock it down to Werner, and it would just come right back to us because we just couldn't get enough bodies forward to, you know, change the momentum of the game. I don't fault Tuchel. I don't think that he's to blame for this. Like, we didn't really have the personnel to change the game. You know, we didn't really have a foothold in the match. Like, ultimately, what I would have liked to have seen was probably, if we had the correct personnel, play with a false nine, because it allows us to interchange parts and whatnot and confuse City. This is the first time we played City with a recognized striker, and it proved to be, you know, problematic, just because Lukaku, as much as he is, you know, a presence up top and a real driving force in the box, when we have to soak up pressure and then hit people on the counter, you know, we're losing one man. We're losing basically a member of the squad that could be a midfielder to help fill up some of those gaps. And as a result, we just couldn't get out. You know, we just could not get out. I thought Ruben Loftus-Cheek had a great game when he came on. And again, like I said, he needs minutes. He's proven to me right now that he can handle minutes in the Prem with this side. And if he's not, you know, the fourth choice now, I don't know when he will be, because he made a difference when he came onto the pitch. Just the fact that he uses strength, physicality, his pace, and dribbling. That's what we needed today, you know, just something of that sort to break the line. And fortunately, we didn't get it till late.
Yeah, even Kovačić didn't do it. Yeah.
True. Listen, guys, I've opened the lines to the general public. I'm going to give the next 20 minutes for feedback and input from the people in the chat. Boogeyman is here. So Boogeyman, I'll let you wait for a little bit while we hear from Jake and Easy Smoke in turn. Jake, welcome to the stream. How you doing?
What up, Kasim? What up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well.
I've been better.
As well as we can be.
Yeah.
As well as we can be.
That was a tough one, guys.
Yeah, tell me your thoughts on the match, mate. Tell me your thoughts on the match.
I just thought City was the better team straight up. And on top of it, like I thought I just joined the stream at the perfect time because I just joined when Dennis was talking and all Dennis was doing was speaking facts. Like we play with the midfield three, right? We already got a somewhat defensive formation, right? Because we have more numbers behind the ball, if anything, on the defensive end. Let alone we take someone away from the attacking three, and we now have a midfield three that's even more defensive, right? So it's like we set ourselves up for failure here in a way where we're just not going to have the cohesion up top where we normally have it. You know what I mean? So it's like, and again, like Dennis, you even said like it's not really you don't think it's Tuchel's fault. I'm not saying it's Tuchel's fault either, but listen, again, City just showed up today, and like again, another thing you said, Dennis. We had a midfield three, right? So we dropped someone from up top into the midfield three. If anything, we should be stringing more passes together by doing that in our not our half, but maybe just like in the general middle third.
Yeah, but their press was relentless.
The crap out of us. So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, across the board, honestly, they did it well today. And another thing I want to emphasize though, real quick, when you look at Chelsea's schedule in the bigger picture, this month, September, was probably the hardest month we'll ever have to face.
January too.
Yeah. And when we get into the later fixtures of the tournaments and cups and stuff, but next month, October, is going to be a breeze. We're playing cakewalk teams. You're saying pump the brakes, Dennis?
I'm just saying every game is a different game.
No,
right?
yeah, exactly what we saw today. Like we're at Chelsea. We like to think we'd win every game, but City just came to our backyard and dominated us. 100. That goes with any team, not just City. But when you look at the grand scheme of things regarding our schedule, though, this month was so hard, and going into this game, we had 7 wins and a draw, excluding the preseason games. Like we were coming in on 5. We were getting our results. Like what did you just say then? Like take everything game at a time. Like I would have thought we'd like to. Like I would have taken a tie. I would have thought we'd like to win, or I would have thought we won. But again, like to what we just talked about in a second, like 90 minutes or 90 minutes, anyone can show up, and City just showed up in the best way possible. So, yeah, just want to emphasize that. But better things are coming with our lighter schedule.
Yeah, definitely. Stay positive. You know, it's early doors. But yeah, there's a lot to learn from this match. Jake, as always, thanks for jumping on, mate. Appreciate your feedback, and we'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir. And real quick, RLC got some minutes. Yes, sir.
It was good. He played well.
Yes, sir.
He played well. Yeah.
Come on, you boos. All love guys.
Good shout for him yesterday, mate. Good shout for him yesterday. All right, Jake, take care, brother. Easy Smoke, welcome to the stream. He's wearing his Liverpool shirt, but you know it is what it is. Tell me your thoughts on the game.
To be honest, I thought Chelsea played a really good game, but I mean, just getting the ball in the final third, that's where they lacked today. But you know, I do believe that Tuchel will change things around, and it's only the beginning of the season. Chelsea will bounce back, and I do see them as strong title contenders with Liverpool. As for Man City, it was like a fluke goal. I mean, Chelsea really set the defense out well. Yeah, deflection. I mean, Rudiger playing really well, man. I've been watching him. But other than that, just a few things Chelsea got to pick on, and Chelsea are still an amazing team.
Listen, Easy, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your support. We know you've got a blue shirt underneath that red one. So it's all good. Have a good one, brother. We'll talk to you again. Take care.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Sam is coming in.
Sorry, can I just say something quick? Because it just came to me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're not supposed, like, as much as that formation is supposed to, it looks defensive by nature. The reason why it played that way is because we couldn't get forward. We couldn't get our fullbacks or our wingbacks forward. And I felt like when we normally play, what we normally see is our wingbacks are like more advanced than, you know, some of our strikers at times. You know what I mean? Because they get so far. We just got pushed back. I don't think that this formation is defensive as much as it is. We just couldn't utilize our width as well because we got pushed back.
Fair enough. Sam, welcome to the stream. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, doing as best as I can do after that result, though. But yeah, it was an eye opener basically, and I think it was needed. For me, I think the most important thing is the response after this result. and how the players will react to this. But it was just fact that we played against a team that were better on the day on every skill, getting the ball back, possession. They had more clear-cut chances. The defense was still solid, but as Couch said, I do think Alonso and the wingbacks they weren't as good as they probably could be, and that's the only thing. I think Chilwell needs to step up because I really don't want us going into the system this season fully depending on Alonso because I think it's better to rotate that competition to be between the both of them. But apart from that, it was a learning period because we got to see the Kante, Kova, and Jorginho in the middle. Didn't work out as we probably felt it would be. And yeah, Loftus-Cheek also got some time on the ball, which is good because with the way Saul is looking, we might need to depend on him even more than Saul. So yeah, eye opener, and hopefully we can respond. City winning the game doesn't mean they win the league. If we won the game too, it wouldn't mean that we won the league. So yeah, there are more games to come.
True.
True. Totally agree, Sam. Totally agree. Let's stay positive. And in theory, the way it's panning out, it's good because Tuchel does have food for thought in respect to improving, developing, and like you said, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, his performance. I think a lot of us here can care with you. He could be that fourth choice option rather than Saul. Maybe Saul is not going to have the season or the impact that we thought he was going to have when we signed him. Sam, always a pleasure to have you on, mate. I'll talk to you again. Take care,
Yeah,
bro.
man. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers, Sam. We have Matt coming on. Matt, how you doing, my man? Welcome to the stream.
Hey man, I can't stay long, a bit late here. I'm about to head to sleep, but just before I head, the game, I love the early start, but man, so disappointing. But I just have to say it. But this game was calling for Mount. This game was really calling for him. I have to say it. I'm sorry.
He's injured. He's injured.
I know the one time we need him, but I don't know. Loftus-Cheek showed some great attributes on the pitch, but I don't see this as an overstep of Saul yet. I think he's shown that he can be playing against like Juventus next week or Southampton on the weekend, but for a starter, I don't think so. I want to see more of Saul first, but ultimately this game just was I wouldn't say humble, but it's just a wake up call that we are still going to be losing games, but we're going to move from this. We're still going to win the league. Still the best team in the world, and that's really it. I think you guys have covered everything, to be honest.
Yeah, no, definitely. Listen, Sam. Listen, Matt. What did I call you, Sam? Sam was here. Matt. I know there's a big time difference between us. So I think this game was at a good time for you.
Perfect time.
Early kickoff. Brilliant. All right.
9:30 p.m. Bro. Perfect. It's the Americans that suffer today. Like Dennis, you that suffer today.
Struggling, I'm not gonna lie.
It was 5:30 a.m. for me.
Jeez, the tables have turned. Now it's the other people getting the timing.
It's all good. Cheers, Matt. Hopefully, we've got better things to come for the season, and I hope to see you again on the stream. Take it easy, my brother.
Of course, man. Take care, guys.
Cheers. Thank you, Sam. Sam, Matt. Why do I keep saying Sam?
Keep saying Sam. Yeah.
Matt, Sam, Matt. I don't know. Anyway, Boogeyman's in the house. How are you doing, my man? Boogeyman.
Hello, guys.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Listen, I will probably stay for 2 minutes and bounce again. Have a family obligations around here, man.
All right, man.
Listen, I listened to Kasim. I feel his frustrations, and then I don't want to be too negative anymore because he. I would love to be there first and say what all the things he said. I agree with them. That's the thing. It's just Tuchel had looked like he was thinking this one too much. But again, at the same time, we all yesterday predicted the fact that all our midfield three will start this game. For some reason, we all predicted that.
Yeah.
So as much as I cannot blame him, but he is the coach, right? He need to bring them. He need to change. Like the first half, this whole thing about the leaving Chelsea, handling the pressure for 45 whole minutes. It's just something I cannot get my head around. Like he needs to impact the game a little earlier, just a little earlier, even in 35 or 25. I don't know what it was not going our way. We already feel it. Against Tottenham, they don't have a good team. They may not
Yeah.
score. Against Aston Villa, they don't have a good team. They may not score. But against City, you do that for 1 hour, 45 minutes. They're not gonna get tired. That's how they've been playing for 5 years, or 7 years, or something like that. They're not gonna get tired. They're just gonna keep rolling, 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 rolling. Second half, keep rolling. Of course, some credit when he changed the system, like playing our own system with a three front. We kind of come back to the game. We came back to the game a little. City got a little bit scared, so they went back to play to show some respect. But at the end of the day, listen, is a lesson learned for Tuchel. He need to trust his own system first, not to try to adapt to anybody's system. And I heard Bobby also talk about the fact that we have a lot of players that are not really full fit. We play 50, even James was 80%. You don't play James 80% against City. You don't play just who can take over City in the middle and Jorginho sit. Like it is City. It's a physically game. They have to run us. So at the end of the day, listen, I'd rather lose against City than lose against any other team. I'm happy that because they're going to beat other teams also. I'm pretty sure City going to beat Liverpool. Liverpool going to beat City. We can go to Etihad and beat them there also. So I'm fine with it. And let's just turn around and look forward. Juventus, we're looking for.
But can I just say something, Boogeyman? I
Yeah,
agree
go
with
ahead.
everything.
Go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I absolutely agree with everything you're saying. It's just look to lose to City today wasn't a surprise to me. I said it last night. They're a big team, Man City. You know they are a big team, but the manners we lost to City. You know we're playing home, and he said if you see something not good, he didn't give you 35 minutes, 45 minutes, all half. He didn't tweak things. That we conceded the goal. You know that's why and it's been happening for the last 3-4 games. So they're not just the players retiring. Yeah, I understand some players won't fit, some player won't get 100%. I agree with that. But last 3-4 games, tactically, man, we just gone away with it all the time. And I mentioned it to Mo. If we concede first, is it going to be a different game? The answer is yes today because we couldn't come back. That's my point I'm trying to say.
No,
Against them,
listen, I understand. I think Couch also makes some real good point, and Julius was saying also how Lukaku. Um, no, it was no, I think it was not Julius. It was Kasim that said Lukaku didn't cover too much of field today. He didn't run too much. Yeah, I feel that way also. But listen, Lukaku is our main man now. Tuchel has to find a solution to that thing. When we're playing against big teams, we need to get Lukaku in the game, and we need to just manage to use him at his full potential. He's not gonna be there pressing anybody. He just want the ball. He need 2, 3, 4, 5 chances to score a goal. That's how he is. We're not going to find Lukaku scoring big goal like Didier Drogba. That's why Julius says that if it was Didier Drogba, that today match would be 1-1. That's who Didier Drogba is. He go against you 1-2. He always will find a way to hit one end. Lukaku, I don't know. But listen, man, I gotta go. And thanks for having me, Mo. And then sorry if I cannot be here the whole
thanks, Boogeyman.
No, no
Thank you.
worries, Boogeyman. It's good to get your feedback and to get your input. Hope everything is good with the family. We'll talk
Oh
to
no,
you
no,
again.
my daughter is doing her stuff with her friend, so they need supervision and.
Chaperone.
You're the man.
I didn't want to be the man. Let me tell you that. I want to. Okay, bye bye.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take care, Boogeyman. Take care, Boogeyman. Listen, people. I want to emphasize on this point because this is a positive aspect. You know, we've talked about a lot of negativity, but let's talk about a positive aspect. I for one, I'm a big fan of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. A big fan, and I was gutted to see him injured. I was gutted to see him struggle to come back, and him being such a powerful, pacey player who is able to take a shot from outside the box, who is able to challenge. There was even talk about him Hazard-esque, before his injury. And then he gets that injury and he's sidelined for such a long time. He's back. He's played one cup game. He's played a few minutes today. But it's the attitude that I'm seeing, the look that I'm seeing on the man's face, the way he's approaching it. And I talked about his positive touches, his positive attitude when he receives the ball in today's match. Do you guys think that we are about to see Ruben Loftus-Cheek make his comeback and cement himself in the team? Because if there's one player that I really want to see do that, is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But are we being... Is there too much... What's the word here? Too much optimism, too much hope, too much
It's too soon.
desire?
It's too soon. It's too soon. But I'll say this.
You think?
I think it's too soon to start to say that he can come back to where we saw him before. But I'll say this though, he's building momentum right now and confidence.
Is he on that road though? Is he on that road?
Oh yeah, it looks that way. It looks that way. I would say that you look at our midfield three right now. If we're going to play our midfield three, like a flat three, like we did today, he would make the most sense in there. Like as far as somebody that can sit, take occupy space, be a physical presence in there. Use his feet. All that stuff. Dribble. Get forward with pace. He was what was missing, but he's just now starting to gain the trust of Tuchel, right? Like it's going to take some time before we can actually see him get the trust of the manager, trust of the squad, his teammates, to play that role effectively. But like ultimately, I think that if he does get to that level where he's actually back to his best, and we try to play that three system again, I see it being like Jorginho, Conte, and Ruben. To be honest with you, if you want to play that system, because I think that his ability to thrust forward, score goals, be physical and whatnot is what we needed today, and we just didn't have until he came on late in the game, right? But yeah, I just think that it's going to take some time, and this is not to say that Saul is dead men walking, not going to play or whatever. I don't think that at all. I just think that you have to play the people that are in form, the guys that are giving you best minutes right now, and find opportunities for guys to work themselves into form at a later date. But games against City and stuff like that, could you imagine putting Saul in this game right now? I couldn't see him in this game. So
I think he need the game time more. As I said, too many games coming.
He's just not good enough. As simple as that. He's just one of those that is not made for the Premier League, just like Morata before him, just like many other players. Let's just not put false hopes. Saul is not good enough.
Okay.
I like to look. I like to cut it short. Like I don't believe he's Atletico would not have got rid of him the way they did if he was good.
You see, a statement like that from Julius a month ago, I would have had 1 million responses to him. But now, after seeing what I've seen, I can't really argue.
You can't. I think he's right. There's no, he's not going to improve over time. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
It's pretty early, guys. Pretty early. I agree. The intensity doesn't seem like it's right for the Prem. His intensity. I said that the last game. I was like, ugh. He's got to really it's not even so much his technique on the ball and his understanding and intelligence. It's just the intensity for me that's kind of like, eesh. You really got to step up big time. Like you got to up your reps. Move the ball quicker. But it's still early, man. Well, fellas, I gotta go. My son's back from Little Kickers. I did go see him. Don't think that I just watched the Chelsea game and I didn't. I went to go see him, but he stayed at the park.
Was he playing game today?
Yeah, he's 1.5, but his Little Kickers.
Oh, 1.5. Okay.
Yeah. He's on a kickabout. He didn't even kick the ball once. I don't think he's just running around, right? But I'll see you guys later. All right.
Take care, Dennis.
All right, man.
All right,
Up the
mate.
Chelsea.
Cheers.
Take care.
Up the Chelsea. Well done. Cheers. Hey, listen. We got a lot of what's the word here? We got a lot of youth talent in our panel. I mean, you got Dennis with his 1-year-old kid. We got Kasim with his little teenager. We got people all over the gaff. So it's brilliant. Listen, I think we need to just be a little bit more.
Mo, can I ask you a question? What do you think about Juventus game now? because you asked me the question.
You know what? You know what? You
Come
know
on.
what? Kasim.
Yeah, come
You
on,
know,
come on.
I did say that I wanted to lose against Man City and win against Juventus. You know, I did. Well, now that's what it's going to have to be in it because we lost against Man City, so we've got to beat Juventus. Because now, if we lose against Juventus and Man City,
Oh my God.
something is problematic there, right?
Yeah. Mo, I have a question for you, and Bobby and Eric and Kasim, all of you.
Sure.
The way I saw Robin Loftus-Cheek today coming in was actually a desperate, a desperation from Tuchel. Just, I'm gonna put him out there, see what happens, because nothing else is working. What do you think? That's how I saw it. That's not. I'm not saying it was bad.
I think,
He was
you
good.
know, in a way, I think Tuchel was very nervous before the game. I know what you mean. I thought he was very nervous. It was kind of like I've got that 3 games to beat him, and I want to keep that record. Even I'm gonna go for the draw. I believe after I watched first 10 minutes, Tuchel was set up for the not set up as a formation. The way our team were playing was very negative. It was very negative. We can play 3-5-2. We still do counter attack, but the way he just.
But that's not answering my question. I'm saying.
I thought he was nervous. Tuchel.
Was it that
Yeah.
Tuchel put Robin Loftus-Cheek out of desperation?
I think no, not out of desperation, but I think he wanted to introduce a positive spin to the game's result. You see, I think the game was too far gone for us to change anything. I think we had a problem today because I think Lukaku didn't perform at all today. I'm a big fan of Lukaku, but today he didn't perform. Timo Werner, on the other hand, had a very, very good game. His runs, his vision, his passing, it was
hard.
good. He was working hard. He did well today. I think the fact that he didn't have that 10 with him to link, if he had that, and you know, when Havertz came on, we saw a little bit more of an attacking threat with Havertz and Werner, with Lukaku. But I think the fact that we didn't have that today, Pep wanted us to be talking about a positive thing at the end of the game, and that positive thing just happened to be Ruben Loftus-Cheek because he brought him on. He saw enough in Ruben in the last game to believe that he does have something that he can prove, and he came on and he did what I think Tuchel knew he could do, and that is a positive spin that now we have, and now we're talking about instead of just talking about the disaster of losing to Man City, if disaster is the right word, because we said early doors still, but it's a defeat. It's the first defeat of the season. Bobby wants to come in on this. Let me hear from Bobby.
Yeah, I've been listening to everybody, getting in people's take on what has been going on, and I have to apologize in between that I have been distracted. I guess if I'm responding correctly, what I have to add to this is I don't buy that Tuchel was nervous. I don't see that at all. He's not that sort of person. I just think that we had problems in the squad. We have injuries. We've got lots of players carrying little niggles. He mentioned them. We've mentioned them on this platform. We do need to look at our strength in depth. I think as a fan base, we are very short-sighted, unlike other top teams. Other top teams stockpile players in reserve. We think players in reserve are suffering. I know, and this does get to the club, whether we realize it or not. Some of the agitation coming out from fans, they listen to because they take fans in. We're part of what's going on at the club, and I think we need to stop that. This is a clear indication of our need for strength in depth. I am thrilled for Ruben. I think Ruben has proved himself today. I think he's back. However, he needs to be nursed back a little bit. I'm very disappointed in Saul. Not surprised, but I'm disappointed. I hoped for more. I hoped we'll be able to rely on him, but it looks as if we can't. And I just think that's an awful waste. I don't want players coming to our club to sit out their loss of form. But time will tell. Maybe I'll be absolutely wrong. I have been wrong about players in the past, and I'll always hold my hand up. More specifically has been Thiago Silva. I kicked off about him not coming to the club. I didn't want an old man in our club. Well, look what happened there. Lukaku was disappointing today. Just like Julius said, he had a gilt-edged opportunity as a top-class striker. Sometimes you'll only get that one chance, and he spent his time showing, the old Lukaku, moan, whereas actually it was all down to him. But having said all that, this loss is not the end of the world. We've got to lose at some time, and it's better it happens this way with a club that was really all out to get us. It was very important to them to win. And they know we weren't really at full pelt. I know we'll meet again, definitely not just in the league, but maybe in another.
I love your positivity.
I just speak
You're
the
very
truth.
positive. I love it.
I just speak the truth. We'll meet them in another competition, and I'm sure it will be a different story.
Listen, right now, I think that's 4 wins to Tuchel, 5 wins to Pep, and 1 draw between them. So it's close, it's tight between.
So we need to make it 5-5, don't we?
We need to make it 5-5. Listen, people, we have almost 100 people in the stream, and we are only on 59 likes. So do us a favor and hit that like button. And we are also less than 100 subscribers away from 8,000 subscriber milestone. We are literally, 85 subscribers away from hitting the 8,000 subscriber milestone. So if everybody in the stream here subscribes now, we'll do it. I'm guessing, there's at least 60, 70 of you not subscribed, because most of my viewers are not subscribers for some reason. We've got a super chat from Mohammed. What about for, what's that, Baker and Musonda? Lewis Baker and Musonda, if they gain fitness. Listen, Mo, I'll give you my response, and then I'll let the guys give you theirs. Firstly, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, Mo. Baker, good player. Musonda is one of those players that is also having it hard, having it tough. But he's doing bits. He's trying hard to get back. Whether or not he'll get back to Chelsea standard, I'm not so sure. Naturally, I want to see that happen. Whether or not he has it in him, his injury was big. So it's tough. It's tough. What do you guys think? Let's go with Eric and work around the board. Eric, Lewis Baker, Musonda. Eric, I think Eric is away. Bobby, can you hear me? Bobby's also away. Julius?
I'm around. I'm just unmuting. Sorry.
Okay. Go on, Bobby. Mo's asking, Baker and Musonda gaining fitness and coming back to the team. Could it happen? I know Gabrielle is commenting that it's probably a dream. What's your thoughts on this?
To be honest, we all saw Lewis Baker in pre-season and mainly in defence, and he didn't look that bad. He could do a bit of a CDM job. I don't know his form right now, but he is in the squad, isn't he? He's got a squad number, Lewis Baker.
I think he does, yeah.
Lewis Baker has a squad number. So I was disappointed not to see him against Villa, because I thought that was a kind of game we could try him, because he's quite an aggressive guy, and he's determined as well. He needs to get back into the reckoning. So I don't know. Will we ever see him? I don't know. Tuchel's going to be the judge of that. As for Musonda, yet again, he has a lot to do. But if he ever has a target, I would tell him, do your utmost best to start rattling Pulisic. Because if you can perform and put Pulisic under pressure, it could only be good for the team. Whether he ever succeeds in doing that, I don't know. I haven't really seen him on the pitch since his recovery period started, so I can't say. It will be nice, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
All right, Julius, your thoughts?
I think forget it, man.
Both?
I'm
Both
not
of
a
them?
fan. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a big fan. It's just look. I like to go for guaranteed 100% proven world class player at that stage we're in right now. I'm not trying to build and wait for potential and put gambles on players that may or may not become good. We are European champions. We're trying to win the Premier League. We need to go for proven players. This is why City is consistent, and they've caught up to us with league titles and overpassed us. Like let's not be naive. If we did not win that final, it would have been a disaster for us as a club and what we're trying to achieve. We cannot let City keep pushing and keep dominating. Same for United. Their fan base is still talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
So we need to go for world class players. We need to not be afraid to put in 80 and 90 million on a player that we actually need. Declan Rice is one of those. We have to think ahead. Oh, we don't need him. Oh, we shouldn't pay this much for him. Blah blah blah. But it's okay to pay 60 million for Conde, who I don't even know if he's even good or not. I don't know.
Sorry,
So
Julius, do you not think after what we saw today and some of the lack of invention up front and, ability to put through passes, do you not think we need to make a statement and drop 100 million down for Federico Chiesa? We need
100%.
Chiesa. If there's one player Chelsea need now, it's Chiesa.
100%. He is a man. He is
A man
unreal.
after my own heart.
Like look what he's doing look what he did with Italy. Look what he's done with Juve. I watch Serie A just as much as I watch Premier League as almost. Man, this guy will pull you a game out of nowhere.
He works very hard as well.
He is unreal. He's spot on, Bobby. That's a good call, to be honest. But we're gonna have people saying, "Yo, we shouldn't pay 100 mil for Chiesa. We don't need him." So
I think it's clearly more Chelsea. I said it 3-4 games ago. Lacking creative, the creative man. Very disappointed with Havertz. I think Julian's was right in the beginning of the show when he said we missed out on Grealish. He's the man,
This fits in with what you've always been saying, Kasim, that we need a number 10.
Yes.
That's Chiesa. He's a bit more than a number 10.
Yeah.
But
Do you know what? We missed out on Chiesa 2 seasons ago for 20 million. Do you guys know that?
Well, we can always go back. We take that L. We can't do anything about the past, but we can do something about the future.
Yeah, I think it's clearly now, guys. We like Bobby said, and Chelsea need to in January. I believe because you know what, when we signed Havertz, I thought he's gonna be that man, number 10. But obviously he's kept tweaking him right, left, and center. A false 9. But we really need. We're missing player like Grealish. Hold that ball and do that throw. But it's just we don't have that player, and I could mention it every show. We don't have that number. We don't have that number 10. And that's why part of Lukaku struggled today, But Lukaku, don't get me wrong, he needs to work a bit hard. But he probably missing that creative. 100%. We don't have him.
Listen.
We don't have that.
This is the last question. This is the last question I'm going to ask you guys, and then after that we're going to sign out. Before I ask you this last question, I want to see how many subscribers did we gain since I last asked for subscribers. We gained 1. Oh, brilliant. Listen, lads, we need to gain 85. Well, 84 now. I need to get to this 8,000 subscriber milestone. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you have subscribed, see if you've got any other accounts you haven't subscribed with, subscribe with those. And then once you've done that, call your missus, call your brothers, your sisters, Tell them all to subscribe to the Blue Lounge. Let's get to this 8,000 subscriber milestone. Lads, please hit the like on the stream. We are on 62 likes. I would like to see that get to 100. People, the question I have for you, and this will be, I will get my mum to subscribe. Declared, you're a star, mate. You are a star. Yeah, appreciate that. Listen, is the system that we are playing suited for Lukaku? Are we adapting a system to suit Lukaku? Is Lukaku forcing too much change? Because the question I have for you guys is this. Chelsea last season were creating a ton of chances every single game, but we didn't have anyone to convert them. We're not creating no chances now. What's going on? We have, listen, Casemiro on mute. We have so many changes that we've done so far to accommodate Lukaku that we're not creating chances, but that's counterproductive because we wanted to bring in a finisher to finish the chances we're creating. Now we brought in the finisher, we're not creating those chances. So what is going on? And I want to get a general point of view from everyone on this. We have about 15 minutes, and then we'll sign off. So I want to start with. You know what? Let me start with Kasim for a change. Kasim, give me your thoughts on this, and then we'll work our way around the board.
But I think, look, I don't know how to address it. I want to choose my word very carefully, mate. I don't think Ziyech, we brought him as a creator for nearly 40 minutes.
Wait. How did you go to Ziyech? We're talking about Lukaku. How did he go to Ziyech, man?
Oh, I'm talking about the creative in it. We're talking about that. Yeah, I'm talking about the three players behind Lukaku. I'm not talking about Lukaku. Lukaku will come good. Lukaku will come good and he will score goals. There's no problem with that. You know, Lukaku's a world-class striker. There's no doubt about that. You know, I'm talking about the people behind the three players or two players or whatever player behind Lukaku. Do we have the world-class number 10 or a creator? The answer is no, because Mason Mount is not 10 to me. He's 8. Kai Havertz, I don't know. I've got a big dilemma with Kai Havertz here because I thought when we got him, he's going to be that number 10, you know, open the defense up and put that throw ball. Clearly, he's not. He's more like false 9 to me. So we need to go out in January. We invest on number 10. It's clearly, and I think that is a problem as well. Part of last year we were creating, we're not scoring. This year we're scoring, but we're not creating because I think part of the system as well. Because last year we blame was very much was false 9 really. We won the Champions League, but this year we blame with proper number 9, hold the ball like Lukaku. It seems like with that system, it's not creating too much. So Tuchel need to figure things out. But I cannot go away from we don't have world-class number 10. That's my answer to you, man. And I got to go more if you don't mind, because I've got to take my family somewhere. Thanks very much for having me, more.
Appreciate you, Kasim. Thank you for coming on.
Guys, appreciate that. Look after yourself, guys.
Yeah.
Take care, brother.
Please, guys,
see you later.
Please, guys, like and sub because Mo is a big man and a big channel. Love you guys. See you later. Bye.
Big up, Kasim.
Kasim, I need to go as well. I don't want to go and come back and the stream is over. So
all right, no worries.
I'll just try
let me hear your thoughts. Yeah.
I was listening about the Musonda thing, and was it Louis Becker you mentioned as well?
Yes.
I don't think they have a future at Chelsea. Unfortunately, to add some more negativity, Liverpool will most likely win the match today against Brentford, so we are going to be 3 points behind them. We can't let that gap increase. So we need to bounce back in the Prem in the next game. We need to bounce back in general against Juventus, so we can't lose that match. And let's see how the season progresses. I was going to say something else. We can't afford to go 90 minutes without a shot on target. I don't care who we're playing, and I don't care how bad we're playing, how many injuries we have, all these things. Those things, there's no excuse to have a 90-minute match and not a single shot on target. You know,
We had I think 3 shots the whole match. But there weren't clear cut chances. There weren't even saves, but they registered as 3 shots on target. I think it was 3.
yeah,
I think it was 3.
even if it's more, even if it was 10 shots 10 shots, when none of them are on targets, you know,
No, on
not
target.
good enough.
On target. There was 3 shots on. I think it was 3 or 2 shots on target. I have to check the stats, but there was a couple of shots on target.
Okay. Yeah, from what I saw, there was not. I checked on Google and it says 0, but you know, either way, yeah, we cannot have this kind of performance too often. You know, so I think we will bounce back. We'll improve. We're not title favorites. I never thought we were title favorites. I don't think we'll win easily. Like I heard some people saying, it's going to be difficult. We can't overlook Man City. We can't overlook Liverpool. You know, they've shown that they can do it. They've shown that they can have that consistency.
United lost today, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Notice I didn't mention them.
Yeah, you know, I think they got a penalty in the last second, but I wasn't sure if they scored it or not.
So they must have missed it then. I didn't watch the match. Yeah, I'll check the highlights later. But yeah, so not too many things to be overly concerned about right now, but we have to bounce back very fast, and we have to start winning games again because that's we have a high. You know, we have to uphold our reputation. We have something to uphold because we are the European champions, so we cannot afford to have performances like this too often. So we have to show that it wasn't a fluke that we won the Champions League last season. So that's the way I see it. Onwards and upwards, up the Chelsea.
Big up, Eric. Big up, Eric. Always good to have you on the stream, mate. We will catch up with you on Tuesday for the Champions League preview.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be there. Yeah, see you guys.
Oh, hopefully,
Bye.
hopefully. All right, brother. Take care, Eric. See you later, mate. Cheers. Okay. Lukaku, the formation, chance creation. Julius.
Yes.
Julius. What do you think? Do you think the formation and the chance creation aspect that we had last season has been lost with the arrival of Lukaku?
I don't think he's the reason. I think we're just a little bit slow with how we've been starting our games. I think he's improved the team in a lot of aspects, but I said in the summer, I don't think we're gonna win the league when we bought him. It's not because it's his fault. I just don't think he is the person to lift us when we need a lift in games like today, in games like Liverpool. So there is many problems here. I think we have a lot of injuries. We have to get into context. I don't wanna just single out Lukaku. The question is about Lukaku, but there is a lot of problems. Bobby mentioned earlier, and that's a very good point. We have injuries, we have tiredness, we have a lot of knocks, small knocks here and there. You know, it came in a way across all board, from Jorginho to Reece James to Mason Mount, all being injured. I think Kante as well, right? Or no? So look at it this way. Like it's unfortunate, you know. We're not 100%. But my issue today is not that we lost to City. My issue today is the way we lost to City, the way we played. I don't have a problem losing 1-0, 2-0, you know. But if we were unlucky, if we tried to play like a championship team today, that it was embarrassing. We got destroyed, to be honest. If it was not for Mendy, this game could have ended 3-4-0. The conversation would have been completely different if that was the case. But I think this was a wake-up call for the fan base. I'm not gonna say much more. It's not gonna sound good. I'll leave it for now at that. I have my reservations, as I mentioned, before in the early of the seasons. I'll leave it at that for now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But I always appreciate you, man. Like you give me the opportunity to share my thoughts and yeah, like I'm
That's what we're
sometimes
here
like
for. That's
yeah.
what we're here for, man. That's what we're here for. I'm gonna give Bobby a couple of minutes to give me his take on the formation and the Lukaku situation. Then I'll give both of you a couple of minutes to give me your final thoughts moving forward, and then we'll conclude the stream. Before I do, I just want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you guys something that I've kind of kept away from. We've actually had, since the start of the stream till now, 19 new subscribers. Since I asked for subscribers, we've had 5 new subscribers, but since the start of the stream till now, we've had 19 new subscribers. So big up to all of you who have subscribed. We are literally 81 subscribers away from 8,000 subscriber milestone. So big up to every one of you. We are still lacking when it comes to likes, but it is what it is. You can't have everything. Bobby, give me your thoughts on the chance creation that we were doing plenty of last season and the lack of chance creation this season, since now we have someone who is able to convert those chances. What's going on?
I try as much as possible to give perspective to everything.
Mm.
And I think, as fans, we get upset when we don't win. And we want to win all the time, which is something I love in our fan base. I think it's important that as fans we think that way. But look, we've had one bad game. We've had a couple of games where we've actually put away 3 goals and not conceded, which wasn't happening last season. Although we've had opportunities. Yes, we are creating somewhat less chances, but and the number of chances we created today was unacceptable. But this isn't panic stations by any stretch of the imagination. We are still creating chances, and in fact, today, had Lukaku done what a top striker would normally do and put away the opportunity he had, we may be having a different type of conversation. We can do better, of course we can. We can always do better. There are areas in the team that need improving. We know this. Are we capable of winning the league still? I think we are. Even if we do go 3 points behind Liverpool, we had a very rough start to the season. We played some pretty strong teams and we've done incredibly well. We've only lost this one game with a team that had every motivation and every reason to beat us. We're well prepared and we were slightly on the back foot. So it's early in the season. We dust ourselves down and we go again. We've got a big one on Wednesday against Juventus. I don't know what shape the players will be, but I can see a number of changes. I hope Mason Mount is fit for that. I suspect the only reason we didn't see him today was more for rest purposes than for any sort of real, serious injury. Pulisic is on his way back as well. So it's a different complexion. We can't be too despondent with today. And just as Boogeyman said, you've got to take a loss sometimes. And I think it's probably better we've taken this one than done some of the clumsy things we were doing last season, like having silly losses to teams like West Brom and some of the other sort of lower teams that we lost to. So let's not despair.
Yeah, I agree. I think the chance creation aspect, the way we're attacking, will have to change. It's natural evolution when you have a classic striker on the pitch. We didn't have that before. and we didn't really play with that system before. I mean, we did have Giroud, we did have Tammy, but it's not the same as having a target man per se in respect to Lukaku, where everything is fed to him. Change will be made. Chelsea will need to adapt. The system is being tinkered with by Tuchel. I don't want to see him tinker too much because I think, like we've said in the past, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And but I think he's trying to have plan A, plan B, plan C for various games, and I think we saw that. We saw a bit of that today. We saw a bit of that against Tottenham. We saw a bit of that against Villa in the cup. But we'll have to wait and see what happens moving forward. I want to give Bobby the last statement on the stream today. So I'll give Julius his final thoughts. I'll ask him for his final thoughts. Julius, we're playing Juventus in the Champions League midweek. Do you think? What's your expectations of that game coming up?
Yeah, So yeah, Juve is a hurting beast. They're struggling. Allegri is not doing well. They have a lot of issues in the back in their dressing room. It's toxic at Juve right now, especially in the board level as well. From Agnelli and all the hierarchy, it's very toxic. So I'm not expecting anything less than 2-0, to be honest. Anything less than 2-0 is unacceptable. I would be happy if we win anyways. But if we don't show why we are champions of Europe and dominate this game, then it's alarming. Because, again, I may be overreacting today, but the way we played today was not acceptable. It was alarming. It was scary. We had felt a little bit before from our performances in the first 45 minutes against Liverpool, against Aston Villa, even against Arsenal, to be honest. Like against Spurs, there are signs of worries, but we were still not conceding. We had players like Thiago Silva and Mendy doing miraculous saves or tackles to keep a clean sheet. And then at the end of the day, when you face a team like City and you play that bad, you're gonna eat it, you know. So I am worried. I'm not that optimistic as you guys, but let's see how we react. This is what I'm waiting for now. A reaction, and against a team like Juve, it's the perfect game. Now, if you look at it from a historical perspective, I'm always not too happy when we face an Italian team because we have a horrible record against Serie A teams in general. We'll see. Like, I don't want to see us when a 1-0 scrap it and park the bus and play negative football. And we want to show why we are champions. We want to dominate. Go at it. You know. If you shut down Chiesa, basically Juve is finished. That's it. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
To be honest, Julius, playing Juventus is problematic for me personally because I'm a Juventus fan as well as a Chelsea fan. Growing up, I've always loved Juventus, and I used to remember the days of Del Piero, Zinedine Zidane, and others, Inzaghi.
Heaven of football, Serie A.
Yeah,
I grew up watching Serie A too.
For me, Juventus is one of those teams that that I've loved watching. And at the same time, I know the history they have. I know the passion that they have. So people are talking about them being weaker because of the season so far and whatnot. But they're hurting.
Marotta was a problem leaving. Since Marotta left, they haven't been the same. He was the one who was saying we shouldn't buy Cristiano Ronaldo. We should use this budget to organically grow the club. And then you have Agnelli and Nedved pushing. And at the end of the day, I think the reason the downfall of Juve is Marotta leaving to Inter, and also Paratici to Spurs. I was not happy when that happened. By the way, like
You know what? There's a lot to discuss regarding Juventus, and we'll do that in the preview, in the match preview, because there's a ton to talk about in regards to Juventus and in regards to Chelsea. So we'll be doing that on Tuesday evening. Julius, thank you for coming on, mate. Appreciate you, and we'll talk again.
For
Have
sure.
a good one, my
Thank
brother.
you so much. Big up, everyone.
Take care, Julius. Thank you. Big up.
Big up, Julius.
Bobby, Juventus midweek, Champions League clash, two powerhouses, champions of Europe against a hurting giant in European football. So, how do you expect this game to go, and how do you expect Chelsea to come back after a defeat at the hands of Man City today?
Yeah, the first thing, I never ever believe or accept that an opposition team of that quality that we're facing is not going to be anything but at their very best when they face us. So, it's always interesting how problems and injuries fade away when teams take to the field against Chelsea.
Sure.
So let's make no mistake about that one. They'll be up for the fight. But how do we approach it? I think a lot depends on who's fit. You can see that midfield-wise, we have a few niggles. Unfortunately, this would have been a game I would love to have seen cover, but I don't know. The guy may be too, it's quite tiring for him. Yet again, he needs to play. So what do? Niguez has proved to be a bit of a letdown, as we keep saying. So I think we might have to flog cover again, bearing in mind that who do we play the following Saturday? It might be somebody that we may be able to rest him.
I think it might be Southampton. Let me just have a quick.
Oh, well, there's no easy games in the Premier League, so with them.
It is Southampton. Yeah, Southampton on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a very stubborn side.
It's at home.
Yeah. But I think we've got to play cover because he's the the best we have. I would try him again with Ruben. It was good to see Ruben come on a bit, especially if Jorginho's niggle is just something that he can't really get over, and we shouldn't be pushing for him in case he gets an even worse injury. I think we can do it. I think we can beat them. We've got to be cautious. We've got to be at our best, as always. But I don't have any fears. I know they're going to come at us. I know they have strengths. They have weaknesses. Chiesa is a tremendous strength they have. And they do have a number of dangerous players as well that we need to take care of. So that's just it. Just another very tough game coming ahead. But we shouldn't be too despondent about what we saw today. City is they are the champions, and they owe us one in a way. It would have been hard for them to lose four in a row like that. It doesn't happen. I know we wouldn't let it happen, so why should they? They did well today, but I'm sure they'll be, heaving a sigh of relief and looking at the fixtures, making sure that they don't have to play this lot again because they know what we can do. So, we need to just be positive. Juventus is a tough game. We've got to win that game because early qualification in the Champions League is very important for us, not just for the Champions League, but for the Premier League and for the World Club Cup, all these fixtures that we have ahead.
Give us a chance to rest players moving forward in the season.
Absolutely.
No, definitely. Bobby, it's always a pleasure to have you on my streams. Seriously, I worry, and it's only been a couple of times, but I worry when I'm streaming and I don't see you on the panel. I worry, but because you have become a regular fixture on my panel on my streams. So I'm glad to have you on. Always glad to have you on. Big up to you, and we will definitely talk in the match preview on Tuesday evening. Thank you as always.
Thanks for having me. And just trust me, I love being here. If I'm not here, just know it's either work or something has really distracted me.
That's why I say I worry, because you're always here. So when you're not here, I'm like, something must be going on, No,
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. So hopefully, things are going to be positive moving forward for the season. We discussed positive aspects and negative aspects, but I think generally Chelsea are moving in the right direction, and hopefully we will have some trophies, some titles this season. Hopefully.
Absolutely. I tried to push the positive today because I know fans are down, but
Yeah.
it's only one game.
I received some messages on Twitter just before I started the stream, asking me specifically not to be negative, because we won a couple of games and we were negative on the stream. So now that we lost, everyone's expecting us to be negative. No, it's not. It's not about being positive or negative per se. It's about looking at what has happened on that pitch, and today the result has been a negative one, but I think Tuchel has had a lot to take away from this match, and I'm sure he will improve and develop on. And one of the positives that I was so glad to see was the fact that Ruben Loftus-Cheek was able to come on that pitch and give Tuchel more of a headache, because he has shown that he can play at that level. So I'm glad to see that. And,
especially against a team like that.
Against Man City. And Julius knows.
Julius,
Big
thanks,
up.
Julius. Big up, man.
Big up to Julius.
Yeah.
All right, lads. All right, Bobby. I'll catch you on Tuesday. I might stream earlier over the next couple of days. If I do, I'll let you guys know. If not, it will definitely be Tuesday evening. So I'll see you all then. Bobby, take care of yourself. I'm now going to try to find my outro. Where's my outro?
Sure. Bless you, mate. Thanks to all in the chat. Declared, cheers. I see you, mate. I see you. Why didn't you hop on?
I think he came on when after the lines closed. So he'll be on. He'll be on again. All right, boys. I'll see you all later. Take care. Peace out.